Alright, so if you've seen my last few videos, you know that full self-driving beta has not been doing that well for me, and I'm open to the idea that we may need some type of camera calibration. So you can see here in the top left of my screen, this little steering wheel here, it's gray, and it's got a blue line at the bottom of it, and we are currently calibrating the camera. So how you do that is you go into settings, you go into service, you have to be in park. I just did it before I started my day today. And camera calibration, this button, you just click that. It'll give you a warning. It says it can take up to 100 miles, but in my experience, it takes closer to maybe 10 miles or so. So I've started driving here. I cannot turn on autopilot. If I double click that, cruise control unavailable, continue driving to allow cameras to calibrate. So we'll get these calibrated, and then we'll do some testing today in some areas we've driven in before, because 10.4 has been really bad for me and just making weird mistakes. So it seems like it can see very well, especially traffic coming from the left and right, but then the decisions it ends up making, it's so hard to describe, because the decisions can be good, but it'll make them at the wrong time, which then means the decision isn't good. It's hard to explain, but the car just does wrong things, even though I think it is perceiving things around it better than it was before. So let's try calibrating. You can see this circle's already halfway full, so it goes very quickly. But we'll get it calibrated, we'll go downtown and try it out. So yeah, let's get that done and see if it helps. I don't know. Some people have said they have had better experiences than me. Some people have been complaining that they've had the same experience, that their 10.4 is just not that good. So I would like to be one of those that it's working really well. But you know, we'll get there eventually. More updates, more updates. It's going to be really good at some point. All right, so calibration is done. It took about 9 miles, but surprisingly, I had a little message I'll show you now that said full self-driving beta needed some additional calibration. So that gives me some hope that this will help us. Who knows? Now, I have not used beta yet. I've done all my driving manually, even after it was enabled. I did have to park to turn it back on. Boom, first right turn looks really good. So let's get into downtown, do some familiar driving, some places we've seen before, and see how beta does. So far that first right turn was perfectly done. None of the weirdness we've seen before with kind of moving the steering wheel around or at the last second wanting to change directions. But let's get some driving in and see if this camera calibration can really help us. Wow, so very nice job there going around that slow traffic, getting us back into our left turn lane. And let's see, completing the left turn very nicely. Tiny bit slow and then getting into the wrong lane, unfortunately, but it should fix itself. We can report that. I should also mention that I'm on the standard setting. What is it called? There's chill, assertive, and average. So we're on the average setting. I know when you do a scientific experiment, you're not supposed to change more than one variable, but good news, this is not a scientific experiment. So I wanted to see if average would also maybe help us out. If I can get a good performance out of the car today, I'll be happy. So far, it's been very good. Nothing really bad has happened. The steering wheel's doing good. We're not getting weird changes in the middle of the lane or right before we get to a turn. So let's keep going, get to some more complicated stuff. But I mean, before this camera calibration, if you watch those last few videos, it was like the second I turned the system on, it started doing all this weird stuff. And I wasn't, seeing that in other people's videos so much. And I don't know, I hope this calibration can do something. And it would be nice in the future for people to have something they can at least try if they're experiencing these issues as well. Okay, so we got some braking there. I had to touch the accelerator. I don't know why that was happening. Okay, so our right turn here, which usually goes way too fast. This was all construction last time, and now the construction's gone, and there we go. So the car still struggles with that turn. We'll report it, and then stopping way far back here, which is really messed up. But before we had the cones there, and in the last video on this route, the car just completely missed that turn. And did a really bad job. So we need to move through. We do have someone behind us, so I'm trying not to be too much in the way. So yeah, a little awkward there, but that's more of kind of what we expect from beta. A little bit of awkwardness in, you know, getting through a stop sign or something, not randomly flicking the wheel to the left, making me disengage every 2 seconds like we've seen in the last few videos. So making really nice stops at all of these stop signs so far, continuing right when the car needs to. So the car in front of us, it's their turn, but they do have some pedestrians, so boom, the Tesla moves right through. Now, did it see pedestrians walking in front of them and kind of calculate, oh, they can't go because of a pedestrian and take its turn? I don't know, but that was perfectly executed, that stop sign right there. So normally it would have been that car's turn, but yeah, very cool to see that. So really happy with those stop sign interactions so far. One more here, let's see how it handles this one. The four-way stops are usually pretty good because the car knows, okay, stop, no one else is here, or we were here first, then we can continue. So continuing after that stop, tiny bit slow, but good. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's just, yeah, very nice so far. All right, so creeping out here, we do have a car coming. If we go fast, we have time. Okay, I have to hit the accelerator because, yeah, that was kind of hard. I don't know. There was somebody coming. I'll show you. They're back there, but if the car was going to slowly pull out, we definitely would have been in their way. Not like accident causing or anything, just rude. And I didn't really want to be cutting them off. And you never know if they're paying attention or whatever either. So I guess we're making a right turn here. I don't know what the car is doing. I'm going to hit the accelerator so we're not in anybody's way. It's actually a different route than we've taken before. So we were not in the right turn lane, so that's getting reported. And there were people in the right turn lane. Now I was watching and they stopped. They saw my turn signal and waited for me to do that. But we definitely got in the way there. Very strange. And again, I don't think we've taken this route before. So we got jaywalker here, just walking out in the middle of the road. Car slows down perfectly for them and lets them through and then continues. Very, very good. All right, so stop sign here. Tons of pedestrians. Wow, look at that display. So we should go. Oh, we're gonna wait for the people to cross the street. We shouldn't go. The car knows better than me. That's a lot of pedestrians on the screen. That's ridiculous. This is gonna be hard to get through only because there's so many people. And see how that car went through even though the person's in the way? That's kind of what we should do. We should inch forward. So once they're out of the way, I think the car's gonna go immediately. Okay, it's not. I'm gonna hit the accelerator just there, just a tap to move us through there. Being a little too timid. We do have more pedestrians in the road here in a crosswalk. Car slows perfectly for them. Doesn't get too close, isn't going too fast. They move out of the way. And we should continue here. No one's behind me, so okay, cool. So the car does continue. Little, you know, waiting. That's not bad. There's a lot of people were there. Wow, I'm not sure I've ever seen that many people on the screen. Very cool. And pretty good, pretty good. I'm glad it took this way. This is a little more difficult. Wow, really nicely navigating these tight streets, perfectly moving around those cars exactly as it's supposed to. That's a left turn lane, and then it moves back into being the straight lane with parking on the right. Wow, wow, wow. Handled that really, really well. That was great. Loved to see that. So this is really good so far. And again, in terms of it making some mistakes, doing some, you know, some wrong lanes and stuff, we're going to continue to see that for a bit. It's beta. It's not done. In my opinion, it's going to be a while before it's done. And depending on what you mean by done, I don't think it'll ever be done. It'll always be getting better and iterating. But man, those issues I was having on the videos before were just ridiculous. I mean, I couldn't go a minute or 2 minutes without having to take over, disengage, the car kind of wildly flailing the wheel around, trying to take random turns and stuff like that. So compared to those, this is leagues better. So far, I'm going to say that calibrating is awesome. So unprotected left here, we do need to yield to the traffic in front of us. The car's doing that so far. No pedestrians in the way. We have one more car turning right, and then we can go. Unless those people cross the street, although they do have a stop. We should be going now. We did not. So now we're going to be stuck at this yellow. We'll let it cycle one more time before I push it through. So I have to hit the brake there, tried to go through. You can see the cameras have a green and a red blinking. And I will tell you, it's actually pretty difficult to tell. I can tell that it's a red light, but the difference between the red and the green, just because of the position of the sun, is not very pronounced at all. So, you know, still a mistake. I guess we should hit report, even though I did hit the brake. But yeah, so I'll turn this back on once we actually have a green light. Okay, so green light. I'm going to turn this back on. We do have a pedestrian, and of course cars come right as it's green for us, so we should yield to these two, and then we should go. I'm probably going to push it if it doesn't move. And yeah, I'm pushing it because I don't want to get stuck here again. So I gave it one tap, and then it does complete the turn on its own. So still a little timid in those, which is interesting because I thought it had been doing a lot better. Again, we're on the average setting. We're not on assertive. I can't really tell the difference between those. Like chill is supposed to not roll stop signs, but it rolls them just as bad as assertive does. So, you know, I don't exactly know what the difference is with those different settings. So we do have a right turn coming up, but the Tesla seems to correctly identify this vehicle in our way. That is great news. Now we can get behind these guys. Actually, I wasn't sure, maybe they were parked too, but I don't think so. It's a really nice right turn here. A little bit of a slowdown, but no big deal at all. Giving enough space to this truck and dumpster. Oh my gosh, I'm loving it. This is great so far. All right, one more destination here. We're gonna go back into the middle of downtown where it was really kind of crazy with lots of people and stuff, and try that out. So left turn here, not sure we've done this before. So it's a little tight. That guy is past the stop line. Oh, what is that? Okay, thought we were gonna get close to something. That guy was definitely past the stop line, and that's the point of the stop line is for traffic turning in front of you, they need that space. And so it was pretty difficult, but the car did make it through that tight turn, which it of course needs to be able to do. So that was pretty good. Now we're in, there you go. What are you doing here? So this is more beta behavior, where it kind of is like, I'm not sure, and then I'm gonna fix myself, and it's stopping too far back. Before, it would have just been whipping around and then stuck somewhere and not even tried. This is more what I would expect from beta. So I touched the accelerator there, just so we would, I mean, that's cool, then it kind of positions itself better. So we need to be moving over. We need to be in the right side of the street. See, when there's no lines, the car seems to make this kind of mistake. Now, the person behind us looks like they want to turn left. I want to fix this though, just so we don't miss our shot here. Ooh, looks like the screen has frozen. Ooh, that was weird. Yeah, we got a big freeze on the display, but then it came back after I disengaged and then re-engaged. You can do it? You can do it? Oh my gosh, do it, go. All right, I'm gonna tap the accelerator. Car is this version is very careful around pedestrians, which I appreciate, I really do. But when I'm trying to get out of people's ways, tap is nice. So it's tight here between these cars, but we have plenty of space. It shouldn't really be a problem. Slow is good. Yeah, so that was not bad. Little too timid, but better safe than sorry, especially in these beta phases. That's the crosswalk we went through before, where the car stopped for some pedestrians, and lots of pedestrians just keep using this crosswalk over and over again. Surprised they haven't made like a little bridge to go over the road. That probably would help traffic immensely, and it would be a tiny little bridge, but what do I know? So we'll see how beta handles getting through this crosswalk. Looks like we're actually going to be clear. So we're approaching at a pretty good speed. Yeah, nobody, oh, there is somebody. So the car, very good, very good. I'm not gonna report it. That was awesome. So it showed her in red. And then did stop for her. So that was great. It was warning me like, oh, pedestrians coming out, but the car was going slow enough that it was able to react. So that was perfect. I loved it. So can move over to this lane. I think the cars had trouble with this in the past, getting into this straight lane because of those parked cars. And it is fixing itself, so that's good. It shows a speed bump on the screen. There was not a speed bump there. Stopping. And then he walks in front of us, gives us a little wave. Is this Toyota gonna stop? There we go. Wow, and perfectly. Waits for him. He's far away. We move through. Beautiful. All right. Well, I'm loving this. I'm loving it. I love you again, beta. I would say if you're having any issues, calibrate your cameras. It doesn't take that long anyway. The initial calibration, like I said, was about 9 miles. I didn't really, after I saw that, percent remaining for beta, I didn't really look at it again. But I can't imagine it was much more than maybe 10 or 15 miles of driving before then beta was once again available. It doesn't take that long. I have had immense success in this test. I mean, I had 3, it was terrible for me. It was terrible, and now it is so much better. So Let me know what you think about that down in the comments. How many pedestrians did this thing see, by the way? I'd love if somebody had a count, because you guys are good at that stuff. Yeah, like look at all this good stuff. This is so good. I'm so much happier now with 10.4. And yeah, this is great. So if you need it, calibrate. If I have any problems in the future, I will be doing that as well. I was caught off guard by that, because I hadn't had anything like that happen before where it was that bad. It was really crazy to me. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. Hit like, get subscribed. Look forward to talking to you down in the comments, and you will see Full Self-Driving Beta in the next video.
So Autopilot and I are happily driving along